It's the Hip Hop Matrix Show.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back.
It's the Hip Hop Matrix Show with J.Hall and DJ Akademiks.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Let's get it.
Yeah. What up? Myself, J.Hall. This guy right here, DJ Akademiks. It's the Hip Hop Matrix Show. What's good, brother?
What's happening, homie, man? Well, I mean, I know what's happening. It's
Right.
Sad time in the culture right now.
Well, I'm gonna start off with something a little bit fresh. At the moment, I'm exhausted. My niece was in town for her college tour. So
You took it to the other HU.
now I took it to the HU, which is Howard University. And we took it to a couple other colleges around the area and had her meet some alumni, some people who went to other colleges and stuff like that, man. I organized a brunch for her so she can have conversations with them about their college experience, or even regular folk who just want to give their insight on the decision that you make when you're coming out of high school. Because, it's important that when you come out of high school to understand that that's the first important decision you're going to make when you make your transition from student to adult, So it was good, man, but I'm just tired. I'm just tired, bro. Like the energy it take for it, like I'm just tired. But it's good, man, to kind of look back and be able to do things with my niece that I had to struggle with. You and I was talking off mic about how this is her junior year, and it's important for her to get all this information and things she's trying to get like her junior year. So senior year, she can just make a decision. And you and I were talking about how we didn't know that.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? We was just like floating in the wind, you know what I mean? Like, it just show you how things have changed and what you try to prevent the next generation to do. So I never thought I'd be in this position, but I'm glad I am, you know what I mean? Because I'm in a position where I can tell somebody who's been looking up to me or who's under me and be like, hey, don't do that, trust me. You want to get on the ball about this now, you know what I mean? And let me supply you with something that I didn't have. Like, I didn't have a network. I didn't have people around me that was college oriented. I didn't have people around me actually, I was the only dude on my block who graduated from high school. So after that, after I was 15, I was on my own as far as getting some sort of insight. You know what I mean? So it was real good to kind of take her around and go through that. And she's very much so interested in going to out-of-state schools. So that's cool because I'm an advocate of any child going out of state. Unless you live down the street from Yale University, I'm sorry, go down the state. But even if you live down the street from that, go out of state. Out of state is the best experience you can have because half the experience is what you're going to get as an adult, being out, in the wilderness. So that's been my weekend, man. I feel like I've been working overtime every single day, but it's been all good. It's good to have her, in town, man. What about you? How was your week?
My week was cool up until, the inevitable, the bombshell that happened to the culture.
Yeah, man. I was trying to, there's no way you could not get around that, hearing the news about Nipsey Hussle. And, it was April 1st, so I really thought people around me were joking. Or I thought that they were being fooled. I was like, come on, man, it's April 1st. I'm not. I wasn't even bothering Googling it. Then it kept popping up and kept popping up and kept popping up. Like I was at my job and people were talking about, where were you when you heard the news?
Where was I? I don't even know. I don't know where I was because it was a Sunday.
Yeah.
It was a Sunday. I believe I was just home.
Yeah.
What was I doing last Sunday? Yeah, I believe I was just home.
Yeah. It was so crazy because I feel.
And then IG went up and I was like, hold on. Like, come on now. Nah, he ain't getting it. Nah.
Yeah. I feel like we just saw him somewhere.
Well, he just did an East Coast run and towards the end of the year for Victory
Is
Lap.
that what it was?
Yeah, he just did an East Coast run where
Okay.
he hit the clubs, everything. And I was mad that I missed him when he came to the station that day, too. I'm even madder that I missed him when he came to the station that day.
Because I feel like he was just around.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah,
feel like
he just did an East Coast promo run.
Yeah, and it's sick, man, because
Or was it early this year? It was I think it was probably early this year.
Well, the
like
Victory
January.
Lap album came out early and
late.
It was one of the.
It was late. It was like November.
You talking about Victory Lap?
I think so.
No, it came out early in he was like at the top of the year. Top of 2018.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Top of 2019?
2018.
2018.
Yeah, 2018, bro. He's at the top of 2018.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah. He had one of the best albums of 2018. Like, I'm on record for saying that. It was definitely one of the best albums of 2018.
Yeah, and speaking of which, he actually, since that release, since his death, he's actually got over 6 million streams. And he's the album has re-entered the Billboard Top 100 at number 2. So 64,000 copies since his death. And that's big because he actually owns all the music. And
I mean, I was
rights,
straight riding with Status Symbol 3.
Yeah.
That was part 3. That was my favorite track.
Blue Laces, Real Big.
Last time I checked, the one with CeeLo Green,
Dedication. I mean, I was rocking when the album first hit. I mean, of course, over time, you move on to different music because that's just our attention span nowadays. But yeah, when it first hit, I was banging that Nip.
And to be honest with you, I was going back to it. There were times where, say, it'd be a dead weekend. Then, no music really popped out, nothing was really going on. And I would definitely have the Nip, close by and putting it back in rotation. Of course, when his death came, it was all sorts of the thing that I saw that I don't think we've seen in a long time because, Pac died over 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Was all these conspiracy theories.
Yeah, and I wanted to believe it so bad.
That just blossom out. Now, you tell me which one, okay. Because I know I text you, and I didn't know
and I was all in on the conspiracy.
I didn't know if you was joking or not. I was like, is he joking?
I was serious at the moment.
Because your sense of humor sometimes be a little off-center sometimes.
I was all in. I wanted
you don't
to believe
say LOL a lot.
I wanted to believe the conspiracy. So I was making myself believe it.
What conspiracy was that you went?
The Dr. Sebi, because he was making a documentary, and they did kill Dr. Sebi because he was putting out the information about he had a cure for AIDS, cancer, and all this stuff through natural.
You're one of the people that feel like they killed Dr. Sebi.
Of course.
You believe he died. You believe he was killed.
Yeah, if he got a cure for all the diseases, how he gonna die from it?
Okay, so you believe he had a cure for all the diseases. You believe that, there was a cure for AIDS and all that good stuff and cancer.
I believe there definitely is a cure for AIDS. I mean, I'm a.
Tell the truth.
I'll say economics, financial, a realist when it comes to stuff like that. The money ain't in the cure, the money's in the comeback.
See, I've always
let's keep them alive and keep them coming back to keep them alive, and then. When we done ran this course like polio did, then we give them the cure. It's too early to give them the cure now.
I don't know, man. I always
they need to come out with a bigger disease first that's knocking people out. Then they'll come up with a cure for AIDS.
I always felt like it was a little bit bigger than that because I felt like there are people who are working hard to make form of cure. And you talk to any doctor or whatever that can explain AIDS to you in the most simplest form, it's a little bit more complicated than that because I remember when we learned in school that technically there's no cure for the common cold. The common cold is a virus, and all you're doing with your medications in your system is making the common cold go to sleep. And AIDS, HIV being a virus that it is, it's 10 times, 100 times worse than that.
Of course.
So if you ain't got a cure for technically the common cold, I'm like, yo, so they just don't, there's no cure for nothing in a sense? I don't know, man, about how much I believe in the fact that there's more money in the cure. I think it's one of those narrative things that people keep saying over time, and we just kind of have believed it. But the Dr. Sebi, there are a lot of people who didn't even know who he was, and they were believing that conspiracy. They were believing that that's why he died. And he was making a documentary about him because he thought that his life was interesting. I haven't heard Nipsey say on record that he believed Dr. Sebi. He was more like, yo, his life was interesting. I thought that what he was doing was he had lived an interesting life. And people were just running with it.
Yeah, I ran with it. I jumped off the cliff with it. I was all
totally
all
forgetting.
because of this daggone documentary. They killed him.
I mean, all this, and people putting up quotes you better ride for me, all this other stuff.
Well, Nipsey did say that. He said, they killed me for this documentary.
Where did he say that at? Seriously, I'm dead serious. I'm not even being an a-hole. Where did he say it?
They quoted him saying that.
They did, but when did he say it? I saw people
saying it.
There's
no video of him saying it.
That's my point.
So you don't think he ever said that?
Dog, I mean.
Okay. You think that was a part of the conspiracy they put up? Okay.
I'm just saying
that. Well, I mean, you could be right. Because, I don't know. But I jumped off the cliff. I knew that. I just wanted to believe something.
I'm just saying people were putting
something better than the inevitable. I wanted to believe something then.
Just like everybody wanted to believe that Jay-Z got his family, his kids a trust fund. And that turned out to not to be true.
Yeah, that turned out not to be true, too. But that is very believable, though, because Jay-Z does move like that. He'll just boom and just do something just out of the craziness, and just like how they bailed out all the people from the riot in Baltimore. And I actually know one of the ones that they bailed out.
When you say they bailed them out, you mean like Hove and them bailed them out?
Hov and Beyonce
Okay,
bailed
I
out
just need
for
you to say that, that's all,
for the Baltimore riots. All the people that were arrested in the riot.
The Baltimore Rebellion.
Yes, Baltimore Rebellion. Yeah, for that Freddie Gray. They bailed out everybody that was arrested in the riots.
Okay. But
and I actually know one of the guys who actually was one of the main faces. When you go back and look up, and he was like the one talking in the middle of the street, and then like a Hummer goes by, and then he disappears in the Hummer. As the Hummer drives past, like he's one of the main ones. They bailed out every last one of the guys.
Well, it was also a little bit quick because I mean I know Jay-Z can make miracles, but it takes a longer than 24 hours to set up a trust fund, especially for $21 million.
Well, it was $15 million. That was the.
I see. I read 21, but here's another reason why it was kind of easy for people to kind of believe, because two of Jay-Z's like main homeboys had put it up. Biggs had posted it up. Sean Peckers, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He posted it up. But to me, when you looked at the meme itself, it never cited the source. Like it never said where the source is coming from. Like everybody was just reposting the same thing. And I felt like that was almost disrespectful, because you almost kind of say, you take someone like Nipsey he was a business owner. He was like a Hove on another level.
Yeah, he was a younger version of Hove.
Yeah,
he was on that. He even said he hustled a Hove away. He said it on Hustle and Motivate.
What was he also?
And he said he got $1 million life insurance on his flesh, on his $1 million policy on his flesh. He said that and on all that on Victory Lap.
But he also like worked with STEM research or something like that too, or did some works with that. He did a lot of work. He owned a lot of businesses.
Yes,
with the things that he was doing.
Everything.
Right?
He owned the Marathon, he owned the gas station, he owned the shopping center.
I say to say that his kids were taken care of through him. It's not like Hove had to come in and say, and that's my point. It's like,
there's no GoFundMe needed for Nip. I promise you that. I promise you that.
Not saying they wouldn't take it, but I'm just saying like there's no, like you said, there's no GoFundMe for that.
Yeah, there's definitely Nip's family don't need no GoFundMe. They are good. They are good. And the fact that everybody, I was talking about just supporting his music and continue to support his music and streaming it and doing all that stuff, that helps him. I mean, that helps him continue to support his family even though he's not here. So that's one way that if you want to support him, just keep his music alive, which I'm sure will probably be alive forever now. And on top of that, I believe he's going to become a martyr and in the likes of a Big, in the likes of a Pac. And because they're saying now, and even more, I believe maybe even more than Pac, because in California, and I'll say not in whole California, I'll say maybe in L.A. by itself, because, and I actually heard one guy say that he's the first like actual L.A. artist to actually die like that. Pac repped L.A., but he wasn't from L.A.
Well,
he's the first L.A. born and bred.
Yeah.
Like Pac
really
repped L.A.
Pac was really living in the Bay.
Yeah, Pac was
when he moved to California. He really was living in the Bay, which is northern Cali.
Pac was born in the Bronx.
Right.
He lived in Harlem. He was born in the Bronx. He moved to Harlem, moved to Baltimore, moved to Marin City, and then that's where he set up shop. And then he got signed, and of course he ended up in L.A. because that's where that's the big market. So that's where all the business is. So he ended up in L.A. So he wasn't Pac was never from L.A. He was just adopted and just repped it and just wore the flag on his back. So they embraced him. But Nipsey is the first L.A. artist born and bred to actually go down like that.
I don't want to lose this real quick, and pardon me for a second, but one reason why I feel like the Dr. Sebi conspiracy was some BS is because I felt like it was also disrespectful to the family. Like, you wasn't allowing the family time to process. You wasn't allowing them, the family and friends, for them to process what just happened. You weren't allowing them the proper steps it takes for them to mourn. I mean, he had a family within himself, and he had friends. He had people that knew him personally. So to come up with these conspiracies off top before we were just even trying to understand what happened, I felt like was unfair. You understand? Like, it was totally disrespectful to, his partner, Lauren London, his kids, him being a son, him being a brother. Shout out to his brother, the gentleman name is Black Sam, you know what I mean, who showed up there when he got the call and things like that nature. So it's like his body wasn't even cold before we start having these conspiracy theories of you thinking like the government riding on him. And it's almost like that every time black people do something, whether we do something really, really great or we die very, very tragic, it always got to be some sort of mystic thing that happens to us. It's like if we make a grand achievement, you tell like a Beyonce and a Jay-Z, oh, it's the Illuminati. Oh, there's no way they would have got the Illuminati. It has nothing to do with their hard work. You guys ain't thinking Elon Musk signed with the Illuminati. You know what I mean? You guys ain't thinking that Bill Gates and them signed with the Illuminati. But when one of us make a certain achievement and we get to a higher form, all of a sudden we had to make a deal with the devil. Like we had to sell our soul for some cookies for us just to get to that level. And I never understand that. You know what I mean? When we die, it's almost like, oh, well, you know, they was out to kill him because he was out here trying to help black people. And it's like, okay, Al Sharpton still walking around here like, yeah, I get it. America does have a history of killing black people who are trying to do something, but that's not that. Like, that is what we, seeing being revealed was something totally different. And what is wrong with waiting to see the facts actually unravel before you start coming up? I mean, you have people writing full-fledged think pieces on the whole conspiracy and drawing the dots and the connection and all of that. So my thing is, if he was killed for making a documentary on a Dr. Sebi or anybody else, then Dr. Sebi got family, I think, that's alive, and people who still follow him. Why ain't they dead? Why ain't anybody else suffer from that or anything like that? It just, to me, it was just too much for people to take it to that far, and I just didn't understand that. It was disrespectful. Like, why would you even do that? You know what I mean? Why not? Why can't we process? I don't understand this rush society where we got to rush to these conclusions all the time. Why we can't just allow such situations to be like, yo, this is bad.
We just get caught up in the moment because I did, and I just wanted to believe something. I don't know. I just wanted to believe it was a conspiracy. Something had to be bigger. Somebody like him just couldn't go out like that. He was too embedded in that community, too loved, too respected, and not like that.
I will admit, and I hate to, I'm not gonna be afraid to say this, but I will admit one thing when it came to Nipsey Hussle when I heard about it is that it stuck with me a little bit deeper than the past couple of deaths we had, because I realized how long Nipsey had been around, and I realized how much I've been following his career. Because sometimes we look at people and we tend to forget how they used to look. Like, I forgot I've been following Nipsey since before the brother even had the beard.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I forgot I was following him when he was on the XXL. He was part of the freshman class. Like, he was a part of so many things that had happened in times of my life when me and you were coming up in this career. You know what I mean? And in our careers. Like, he's somebody like around the same period of time you and I was just getting our feet wet doing what we was doing. And it feels different. Like, this death feels impactful to me, and I didn't even know the brother, personally. I just seen the things that he's done, and I knew people that knew him that said, yo, man, that dude good. I mean, from the moment he came out, like, he's not somebody that, like, start talking this righteousness, like, soon because his life got so crazy. He came out in the game talking about real estate, black empowerment, how we can own land, property. The dude was talking like that when he was, like, a kid. Who talks like that?
He was a student.
And you know what makes him different from Pac and a lot of other people is that he actually was putting action into the things that he was doing. And that might be what make his situation hit harder than Pac.
Well, I will tell you this. He was a lot older than Pac. Pac, you remember, Pac was 25. He died at 25.
But that also shows you how life is real. Like, if you give someone time to get there, look what they can accomplish.
Yes.
And if he did that at 33, what he could have done at 43, 53. Yeah. Because you're right, Pac was 25.
And I'll say this, Pac wasn't on the ownership thing. Pac was more on he was more of the revolutionary as far as the gatherer.
And Pac was trying to get out of his contracts too.
Correct. He was trying to get out of his contracts too. So and he had some legal binds. Like, Pac didn't have the money that he should have had at those times. Mm-hmm. He was bonded up with a lot of lawsuits and a lot of cases on him. So he had a lot of lawyers in his pocket. You have Suge in his pocket. It just wasn't. Pac died with $100,000 in his bank account, mm-hmm. which is not a lot compared to you just sold 9 million records.
There are people working 9 to 5s who have more than that.
Yeah, like Pac died with $100,000 in his bank account. So, so he was trying to, but Pac even said, that's why I got off of that. Pac even said this, I may not be the one to change the world, but I guarantee I'll spark the mind. So he was the motivational speaker and the guidance. He wasn't, maybe if he'd have lived to 30, he could have transitioned into the one.
And we also got to keep in mind, Pac never expected to live long. And we forget that too. He had been telling us he was about to die.
Because he was receiving real death threats from.
But he never believed it. Even before the death threats, you take family and friends, he never believed he was going to live a long life.
Correct.
So he was somewhat preparing us for the longest that he wasn't going to be. Well,
because that's where
he
came from. He came from the Black Panther, where he saw his whole support system taken out.
Yeah.
So
I
mean, like, it was a war on the Black Panthers.
And you know what? That's crazy because in Huey Newton's book, and that's weird that you even touch on that. In Huey Newton's book, the first few pages, Huey Newton talk about how he was asking Panther members, yo, who do you want us to contact when you die? And people were frozen because he had learned through, I think, a Cuban revolutionary who said in his book, yo, if a person isn't prepared to die, then they shouldn't be here. Like, you have to understand, like, you might not be a martyr. You might literally just be
a pawn
who just might die. But who do we need to contact? Because the struggle, the movement is going to go on, but we want to make sure your family is good. And Pac came up through that ideology of like, okay, the stuff that you're saying, you're not going to be here long for that. The stuff that you're doing, you're not going to be here long for that. So in a lot of ways, to your point, we never got a chance to see Pac get to 33 or whatever because he never expected to be there. But that's a testament to show you that if you live long enough, look what you can accomplish.
You can transition.
Like, you can evolve. There's an evolution. Look at Jay-Z. Can you imagine Jay-Z would have died at 26?
Of course, Muhammad Ali is on record saying, if a guy views the world at 50 the same way he did at 20, he wasted 30 years of his life.
Period. There's no question about that.
He's wasted 30 years of his life.
Bro.
I'm the exact same age as Nipsey.
That's real.
I definitely don't view
my viewpoint of last year is different.
The way I did at 20. I mean, I own property, so I mean, I am an investor. I'm watching my money, and my money ain't funny.
Right.
So I mean,
like I'll call the cops on you.
Oh yeah, I have.
Yeah.
You know what? I have grown up so much, and I've realized this because I had a situation at my office at my business with an ex guy who's trying to weasel his way back in, and I was like, look, he was getting hostile. I'm like, look, he's like, why can't I be here? I said what I said. Then I was like, look, I said what I said. I want you out of my office. That's it. But why? I said what I said. That's it. How many times do you want me to tell you? And I picked up the phone.
Word.
911. Yeah, I need somebody to come out to 6604, blah, 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 blah. Like,
you got to go.
Like, you know what? I'm not playing these games with you.
Yeah, right.
I'm not playing these games 2019. No, we're not going to go back and forth. I said what I said. I'm done. Now, if you still here, that's on you.
Bro, so this past week, I'm a counselor. I work with kids or whatever. My kids were doing this project where, they were in front of these business owners and they was pitching sales ideas, right? So make a long story short, the whole situation goes well. And I'm not going to name where I work at because that'd be disrespectful, but the whole situation goes well, right? The kids come outside, two of my boys, they see some local dudes. Boom, they get into it. It's a huge scrap out there on a main street in D.C., and I'll tell you about it off mic so you'll know. We out there. Dude, I'm out there, right? I'm pulling people apart. I'm grabbing grown men and kids all day long. So I finally get all my kids on the bus. I'm like, yo, y'all stay on this bus, right? The young dudes that was beefing with my kid, they throwing, shooting signs at the kids at the bus stop, everything. So I saw some officers in front of the bus. So I get off. I said, officer, these gentlemen right here are not with us, and they are threatening my young men. One of my young boys is like, oh, man, you going to go to the cops? Yes, you're right. I pay taxes. I ain't on that no more. Bro, I ain't on. Now, mind you, did I feel that, back in the day when I had just got off the bus and been like, you and my little homies, you know what I'm saying, and woo, woo, woo? Yeah. I ain't on that no more, bro. Right.
West Coast stuff right there.
I ain't on that no more. You know what I'm saying? Like I saw the cops. I said, officer, I even did the point. You know how they do it to me? I even was like this. He right there. You know what I'm saying?
Right there.
Tank top, jeans, the one who's throwing the gun signs. That's him, sir. Go get him. You understand? I ain't got time for that, dog. I'm not a street dude. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not a street dude. And that's what leads me to the next thing is, do you think Nipsey was keeping it too real? Because he was in front of his store, and his store was in the hood. And for what we saw had come out on camera, the alleged shooter, and I have to say alleged, even though we all saw it on video, named Eric Holder.
The shooter. I ain't going to say alleged.
They look like there was a tension argument or whatever the case may be. He shot Nips. You know what I'm saying? He came back, shot him again, came back, and shot him again, right? It's been said that the reason why Nipsey didn't have his security is because he was going to his store to get clothes for a homeboy who was just getting out of jail, and he wanted to make sure that the clothes he was wearing was right before he would see his family. So he was doing a favor. So he ain't called security, he ain't called nobody. He just left out, right? Was that keeping it too real? Because if you don't go back to your neighborhood, you don't do nothing good, they call you a sellout and you're wrong. But we see continuously what happens when people are going back to the neighborhood. Who was my man? And pardon me if I'm correct, if I'm wrong. Fredro Santana? Am I tripping?
Fredro Santana.
Am I tripping? French Montana's my boy.
My Yams?
No, man. Not Yams, man. Yams out of a drug. What's my man name who's French Montana boy who got murdered riding around in the Bronx?
Oh, Chink.
Chink. I'm sorry, man. And my apologies to anybody. Chink. He was riding around his neighborhood, right? And I remember Nori was saying, yo, somebody told him a long time ago when he rode through the hood, say, what's up? They was like, yeah, don't come back here. So it was like, what do you do on that? And I say that as somebody, when I go back home, I go back to my old neighborhood, dap up my big homies or whatever. But sometimes there been some daps when I'm like, I don't know how many times I don't know if I shouldn't come back. I don't know if I ride through this block because I come from, and you know me, man, I don't really like to really put this out there as no braggadocious, but I live on that block. I come from that block that they advertise to you on Detroit that scares people, right? And that's not all of Detroit. But that block that they advertise to you, that's my neighborhood, right? Yeah. My neighborhood has the one light in the entire neighborhood, the trees that you can't see, the abandoned houses, people living, you know what I mean? So when I ride through, I got to do the clap, clap, let everybody know I'm not whatever, so dudes can come out remember me. But how often am I going to keep doing that? And I mean, I got to check myself. So was Nips being too real? Was that an example of keeping it real, like keeping it too real?
Nah, I just think he was just in the wrong place at the wrong time because what the story is, what happened is the guy, I guess he was around and Nip, you know, sticking to the code. Like, you know who you are. Your rep is you're a rat. Like, I can't be seen with you. You got to go.
He was rumored to be an informant.
Yeah, like you were informing. You told you broke the code. You know, I can't be seen with you. So he asked him to leave. And I heard it was, and what they're saying, it was politely. It wasn't in like a disrespectful tone or he wasn't going off. And the guy couldn't feel it, couldn't take that in his spirit, and it was eating at him, and he came and did what he did, and Nip was just there on a humble because he was picking up the clothes and making sure everything was right. So he kind of thought he was going to be in and out. And you know, as we all brothers do, we think we're going to be somewhere in and out. We get to stopping and talking to somebody. Yeah. And then next thing you know, we there for 2 hours. Yeah. So, and that's just how it go. Yeah, and that's just.
He also shot more than one person too.
He hit 3 of them.
Did they die too?
No, they didn't die. The other two lived.
But they're not. Are they able to tell what happened yet, or they're still kind of in critical condition?
I'm not sure.
And
but it was 3 people that was hit though.
And I think that's something important. I mean, nothing against Nip, but we need to acknowledge that this gentleman shot 3 people. You know what I mean?
Nip was the person of interest.
Famous, right?
He was the person of interest.
Right.
He shot the other 2 probably to make sure that he could get away. He probably shot the other 2 in defense of himself to try to make sure, you know, that they couldn't get a hold of him. So, but Nip was the one he was coming after.
I mean, one of the conspiracies.
We could see that in the video.
One of the conspiracies is that the getaway car was already ready, so a lot of people feel like it was a professional hit. But
she actually turned herself in,
and she's off.
Yeah,
apparently.
Because she said she didn't know what was going on. She just thought she was giving him a ride or whatever, and they let her go.
And you know, but to be honest with
you, she sung like a bird.
Hey, but let's be real though. What getaway driver is going to admit is not going to tell that story?
True.
I mean, so I understand certain conspiracies, right? In that sense.
But if I was her, I would get out of California right now.
Yeah, but I understand certain people feeling a certain type of way because
what I heard, a couple people in Eric Holder's family are already dead.
So, but my point is, if you're that kind of person, I can understand why you can have a conspiracy when it comes to that, because why exactly would a getaway driver like get away, especially like in LA? So I can understand the mindset of someone who's already ready to think a conspiracy in the first place. You know what I mean? And why you would think it looks suspect, because when you look at the video, she almost like she was already ready with the car running. But maybe both things are true. Maybe she was sitting in the car and she was just waiting on him. Like you said, he got out the car like, yo, hold up. Because there's been a couple times I've done that. Like, if I see you with somebody driving, I'm going to say, yo, hold up for a second, I'm going to hop out the whip. That don't mean I know what you about to do. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I don't know about that, but I'm with you. For her sake. Oh,
yeah, she's done. She's done. Like, the shooter, his best chances was to turn himself in because they was hunting.
He got caught, right?
Yeah, they got caught. He definitely got caught, but he was definitely a dead man walking. I heard they was hunting him.
Well,
and they found 2 of his family members.
Who his lawyer is?
Yeah, the person who prosecuted OJ.
Chris Darden.
Yeah, not who people who were defending him, the Kardashians and them, but the people that were trying to prove him guilty.
And he's already pleaded not guilty. Yeah. Now, you plead not guilty, you on camera, bro.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like you on camera. Now Chris Darden ain't been around literally since that trial, since that situation. The last time I heard about Chris Darden is when they had the OJ movie last year and we was all watching it, and they made Chris Darden like a fool because they made Johnny Cochran look like just playing him all over the chessboard. Because Chris Darden is also the one who made OJ try on the glove, and the prosecuting team was begging him not to do that because they knew that the trying on the glove situation was going to be, it'd be better to have the image of the glove versus OJ actually trying it on. But Johnny Cochran baited Chris Darden into making him say trying the glove, so once the glove won't fit, he knew he had the jury. So Chris Darden been made a fool out of and been feeling that way for years. And he felt like that he was on the wrong side of history because at the time he was being called a sellout, everything like that, and people wasn't really rocking with him because he was prosecuting OJ. And now us know what we know about OJ now, he probably feel like going on the opposite side just for the sake that he feels like, well, I was right before and nobody believed me, so let me be right again. But, bro, this is on camera, bro. Yeah. OJ wasn't on camera.
Yeah, there was no surveillance cameras for OJ.
None. Whatsoever.
Nothing. It's just smoke and mirrors and what everybody wants to believe at this point.
Yeah.
And what you want to believe because nobody really knows.
Nobody should want to go down in history for being Googled for the wrong thing. Chris Darden, you already went down in history. You at least, with time, people could look back and say, like they have been, right? A lot of people feel like now, especially black people, OJ was guilty. You know what I mean? I always had one philosophy was, to me, when I'm in the barbershop, OJ guilty. When I'm at the office, OJ is innocent. That's just how I was looking at life, right? That's just, I'm sorry. Even now, when I'm around a bunch of white people, they're like, man, he was guilty of sin. I'm like, kick rocks. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm around a bunch of brothers, and they're like, man, I still don't believe it. I'm like, you blind. You know what I'm saying? So it depends on where I'm at. But if you Chris Darden, you could just let this chill out, bro. You could have been writing books now like, I told y'all. You know, your book could have been called now, Told You So. You know what I mean? So I don't understand the purpose of this. I understand that in the court of law, everybody is entitled to a lawyer. I just don't understand why it had to be you.
Yeah, why it had to be him.
Yeah, I like you were chilling. Like who hit you up?
Who dug you up?
Yeah, and I know you're not cheap. Are you doing pro bono? Do you know this guy? Is he your nephew? I know you're not cheap. You prosecuted OJ. So to defend him, I know you're not cheap. And where did this guy, Eric Holder, get the money from? Who is he? We need to be looking into his account. Where he got money from, he can afford a lawyer like that all of a sudden. Here's one of my question is, I mean, this dude ran away. He didn't turn himself in. And you going to come defend him? Man, you just adding to every hotep theory that's online right now. They blowing up right now thinking all the conspiracy theories. It don't make no sense. Did you see that all the local gangs that came together too?
Yeah, it was a big unification out there, which is big because that doesn't happen every day.
Bloods, Cribs, Spiral, everybody.
Yeah, essays, everybody.
United. Walking it. I mean, what does this say when we look back and we continue to the effects that you feel like Nipsey had on the culture? I think he was the pure definition of for the culture.
Yeah, he was for LA, period. He wanted to uplift the whole area and the culture to let them know if we get opportunities and if we give the opportunities is bigger than what we think we have in front of our faces right now at this very moment. And I think that's probably the biggest one of the biggest lessons that he taught everybody. He even said in his rhyme, he's like, I just prayed they give me options. I go cold turk as far as selling drugs. So, I mean, that's what he was trying to show everybody, that there's options. There's options. It's bigger than just gangbanging and wars and turf wars and selling drugs. We can do a lot more than that. With the skills that we have, we can do a lot more than that.
You know, one thing I'm actually gonna remember him for, man. This is kind of wild, but I'm actually gonna remember him for he appeared to be an individual that did not mind correcting himself. I don't know if you remember that time where it was a meme that had went up or a photo that went up of a bunch of black men at this function or whatever. And pardon me if I'm getting this incorrect on what the function was about. Nipsey had reposted and said, these are, you know, I want you to peep how these are all real men, woo, woo, woo. So it was implied or it was misinterpreted or it was assumed by the LGBTQ community that it was a homophobic remark because he was trying to say that this is what a man looked like instead of them showing, you know, other types of men, right? He corrected himself because he was just trying to say these are positive black men and the imagery of it. But he admitted that he could have articulated it better. And I thought that was real big of him, man, because he could have just folded his arms and said, man, no, this is what I think. But he saw what he was progressive enough to kind of see why you would want to believe what he said and how what he said can be a little hurtful and how it can be misinterpreted. And he corrected himself, which that to me, that small little gem told me that this is the type of dude that's about correcting. And in order to be a true progressive, you have to be looking at the flaws in your life and be ready to push. And so him being a Crip member, him being a gang affiliated, him being somebody who came from the streets, you have to be able to look in yourself and say, yo, I got to correct this. I got to correct this mentality, and I have to do things that are positive. And he seemed like he gave his hand out to everything and everybody, being associated with the people that was gang, being associated to Bloods that are the rivals of the Crips, being associated with the Nation of Islam, being associated with brothers and organizations in Africa. It seemed like he put his hand out to everybody through really walks of action. You're right. It was very, when I think about it now and I say it out loud, it was very Tupac-ish. Tupac had folks that was down with him. A lot of people don't even really remember Tupac can walk through New York and be okay. You know what I mean? Even in the midst of that Biggie situation, because there were a lot of people that was riding with Pac. You go watch those YouTube videos on DJ Vlad videos or whatever, there are a lot of old school rappers from the 90s that be like, oh, that was my man. I was with him.
Naughty by Nature.
All of them,
Fresh
right?
has a tattoo of Pac on his arm.
Nice and smooth. You know what I'm saying? Greg Nice. They were like, no, that was my man. And that, not on some like they was like, no, that was my man. I mean, we forgot he filmed Juice in the beginning, but he also filmed that other movie in New York, Bullet. And that was during the Big and Pac feud, and he was chilling.
Yeah, most of his movies were filmed in New York.
That's true. Above the Rim. I forgot all about that,
most of y'all of them, except for Poetic Justice.
That's about
which
it,
I think
right?
they filmed in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And, well, he wasn't in Boys in the Hood. Should have been. Well, he wasn't in Minister Society.
Right.
Which he would have been. But, yeah, most of y'all his movies that he's done, besides, I think Gang Related, that might have been filmed in L.A.
Yeah, so
Gang-Related was
Nipsey,
filmed
to
in
me,
LA.
remind me of having that Tupac quality of bringing a unit of people together and being associated with everybody. I mean, his association with YG, his association with J.Rod, those are two Bloods that are on record, that are like his close friend. Schoolboy Q. You know what I'm saying? These are people that's like, yo, that's like down with him. You know what I mean? So I admire that. I think, to me, he was the pure definition of what for the culture is. We say for the culture a lot, and it's got become cliche. But to me, if you're not contributing, then you're not really for the culture. He contribute beyond his music. He contribute beyond just saying something. He had action. Look, it make me want to wake up and say, yo, what am I really doing? You know what I mean? When I start seeing all the stuff that he was doing, I'm like, yo, what am I really doing? And to me, that's what being for the culture was about, man. So this one sticks a little bit. When we look back on this, I feel like we're going to be foolish, but it also shows, I don't think it's a representation of black on black crime. I think that's stupid. I think this dude represent himself. This dude, Eric Holder, allegedly.
He just happened to be black.
He just happened to be black. He represent himself. He don't represent me. He don't represent you. He don't represent all the black. It ain't no situation where it's like, oh, we gotta do better in life. No, because you see how people are rallying up right now. You see how LA is coming together right now. That show you nobody was down with this move. Nobody. And I hate to say this about other rappers that didn't die recently, but when they died, we didn't see this. You know what I mean? We are seeing memorials everywhere. They had a memorial in D.C. They had a memorial in Detroit. They had one in Baltimore. They have memorials about this guy across the country. Okay? This ain't something we were cool with. Other rappers have died. People tweeted about it. They were kind of like, oh, man, RIP to such and such. And the people that they were around were sad about it. But we ain't see nothing like this in some years. You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing like this in some years, yo.
Yeah, about 20.
Yeah. in about 20, right? So it's just unfortunate, man. And I really hope that I hope Eric Holder get all. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm on record. I'm gonna say this on record, bro. I don't want Eric Holder to die. I don't. To me, that's too good. I want him to live in jail, solitary confinement, and go through everything. I want him to get all the love he gonna get in jail. Cause
get all the love he gonna get in jail.
Get all the love he gonna get in jail. I've gotten older, man. I've come to realize that death sometimes,
love, long way.
Death is almost what these people be asking for sometimes. And I understand that if somebody killed my folks, look, when people kill my folks, man, I wanted them dead. That's real talk. Like I wanted them gone. But as I gotten older, and I heard about, I never forget, man. I'll close out with this. When my man passed away and he got murdered, man, the dude that killed him, man, I couldn't wait to hear about him getting it. When I heard about him getting it, my right-hand man and my big homie, when I heard later on that those guys was out of here, when they were going, man, I felt nothing. I felt like it was cheated. I want them dudes to go to jail, man, live a long life. Get all that love in jail. Get all that love. Get all that embrace. Security guard love. You know what I mean? Other prisoner love. I want you to get all that love in there. Because you took somebody's life, bro. And they didn't have to go down like that. I don't know what happened between him and this guy. We know what was said. But you know what really it's a testament of to me? It's a testament that we have not learned to solve our issues without gunfire. All right, man. So that's my take. Yours, you got anything else, man, you want to close out with this, with Nip?
I mean, yeah. I'm just gonna say his funeral was actually scheduled for Thursday at the Staples Center, and contrary to popular belief, they were saying they were selling tickets to the funeral. They are not. They are not. That has been
There was reported they were selling tickets to the funeral.
Yeah, it was going to be a ticketed funeral, and that's not the case whatsoever. But there will be a formal statement from the family very soon. And I mean, yeah, we just lost a big one. This one is a lot. This one definitely is we're gonna feel this one for a lot. He will be a martyr, and he will live forever. I mean, they may have killed his body, but everything he stood for and everything he did while he was here is gonna go on forever, and he will be remembered forever. I tell you that for sure.
Yeah, man. This one right here, I'm not, like I said, it's sticking a little bit, so there's no way to try to move on for the next thing. We're just going to say we're going to move on to the next thing.
All right.
I don't know if you got a chance to catch this. Beyonce reportedly have walked out of a Reebok deal. Allegedly, she
matter of fact, before we even step on that, I'm sorry.
Bro, what you doing?
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, Beehive, don't get mad. We had to step on Beyonce. But put a pause on Beyonce. She can wait 10 minutes. But also, Kodak. Your boy Kodak.
We was going to get in that.
Oh, okay.
You got to pay attention, dog.
Oh, I thought I did. All right, so bring back Beyonce.
I'm like, bro, we just talked about this. Like, I got you.
Oh, okay.
I got you. I know what you're saying. I got you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I got you. We're going to get into that. Behave, don't get mad.
No.
So Beyonce, long and short, Beyonce allegedly walked into a Reebok meeting. And I guess she saw the staff was all white. So allegedly she said, quote, no one here represents my background and skin color. And she walked back out. Now, Reebok, of course, is denying that this deal collapsed because of that reason. They're saying that, yeah, they have met with Beyonce on several occasions, but it ain't because of this. But, I mean, all white meeting?
Is this my team? She
here's
said,
my
is this
question.
my team?
Let's just go ahead and say this was true, right? How tone deaf do you have to be that you got Beyonce heading up to your office to have a meeting and you ain't got no representation in there?
Mm-hmm.
You literally had all white and you thought that was fine?
Mm-hmm.
Like you thought that was okay? Let me put it to it in this way, right? You know me and you, we came up in a radio game.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when an artist would come up to the station and all of a sudden we saw that artist poster everywhere?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it'd be like boom, 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 poster. Like 50 Cent, boom, boom, boom. Like all of a sudden it's there, right? Now the artist may or may not thought that was legit, that was genuine. But the point is, they knew you were coming. They understood that we knew they were coming.
Mm-hmm.
You know Beyonce coming. You ain't got nobody black around. You could at least just sit in the room, even if it's a lie. Like you couldn't even go grab the Negro that was downstairs, like by the coffee machine.
Shame on you.
Like how tone deaf do you have to be for that?
They just lost out on a couple hundred M's. I'll tell you that.
I don't know how true. I don't know if this is true or not. I want to believe that's true.
Yeah,
I want to believe
we
it.
want to believe this.
Yeah, I want to believe it's true.
Because nobody wears Reeboks anymore anyway.
But if anybody would have made people wear Reeboks, it would have been Beyonce, right?
It would have been Beyonce. At least the female line. Yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like
should have brought them classics back.
Beyonce definitely would have been the one to make people wear actual Reeboks. So
but instead she went to Adidas.
Yeah, she went to Adidas, you know what I'm saying? So that just where that goes. I mean, shout out to Adidas. I mean, they seem to be getting people that is upset out of the shoes.
They got all the good music. I'll tell you that.
Hey, but Adidas doesn't seem to be upset that people don't choose them first. They just seem to be like, we here.
That's all. Come on.
I mean, do they have like spies waiting outside when people come out to other medias? They be like,
probably.
Hey, Remember in the movie
If it don't go well, just I'm right here. Give me a call. Here's my card.
It kind of reminded me of the movie Malcolm X, where Malcolm and them used to wait outside the Baptist church and be like, hey, you came out playing for that white Jesus. Ain't nothing happened to you, huh? We got you right here. Like, that's what that reminded me of. Like, Adidas just waiting outside the corporate office like, huh? That switch ain't do nothing for you, did they?
You need some black people? I got one right here in the
We
car.
got one right here for you, baby. Like, they seem to at least be smart enough for that. So
Go check out my room. Kanye loves us.
Right. So shout out to B if that is true, man. A double backhand slap to Reebok if that is true too. So I mean, of course, I think we expect Reebok to deny it, right? Nobody wants to admit that. So
Yeah,
of course,
that's bad PR.
yeah. So we expect Reebok
Horrible
to deny,
PR.
and we're not really expecting Beyonce to really make a statement.
Because she never does.
She ever, you know what I mean?
And you're not worth her time.
But I don't see her to put it to you like this.
She's not going to deny it, and she's not going to
Exactly.
agree to it.
Which is gonna make it worse.
Yeah.
Because the Bayhive
It's going to leave it up to people to believe what they want to believe, and they want to believe it.
The Bayhive is gonna take a life of this of their own. So Reebok, people haven't been really wearing about Reeboks anywhere like that. But the Bayhive might make the people who are wearing it not wear it.
You keep calling it the Bayhive. It's the Beehive, nigga.
Oh, I'm sorry, Beehive. I thought it was Bayhive.
No, it's B.
Beehive?
It's Beyonce. It's Beehive.
I've always saw it be spelled B-E-Y.
There's no Bay. Her name is not Beyonce. It's
I thought it was Bayhive.
No, it's B.
Beehive.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. I always read it and I don't
Get it
never
right
really hear it.
before they come for you.
Yeah, this is true. So we're gonna jump off that. YNW Melee. You remember him, right?
Yeah.
And
And he did.
No, he was arrested back in February for allegedly shooting and killing two people that was his friend.
I knew somebody was dead. That's right.
Killing his friend, two people.
And then he put a song about it.
Well, he's hired Boosie Badass, former lawyer. Now, that's the lawyer that got Boosie acquitted of first-degree murder back in 2012. So he hired that guy.
Well, it makes sense.
That guy made a miracle happen with Boosie because if you remember, we thought Boosie wasn't going to come out.
Really?
You know what I mean?
Facts.
We thought Boosie wasn't going to come out. But if you shot two of your mans and you made a song about it, I don't know how much people can help you. You might be one of them situations where you get a lawyer really to negotiate how long you're going to be in jail. Not really you getting out.
Oh, he got the right one. He did his due diligence.
Yeah. I don't know what it is we talk about all the time when it comes to this new snitching era of you doing things you can't just be quiet. But if that's true, you really did go out and kill two of your best friends, and you really did go out there and make a song about it when it's done, then I really hope you get all the love you get in jail. You should get in jail too. You know what I mean? They should really show you so much love. The long way. Long pipe way. You know what I'm saying? And some of you new young rappers that like to dress in a certain type of fashion anyway, them jail brothers, they like that. So they don't mind you coming there feeling all extra curvy and sassy. It's all good for them. So, enjoy. So shout out to that situation. But if he hired Boosie Badass, former lawyer, maybe that guy can make a miracle happen for him. Maybe. But if you guilty, you should just go. Getting to what you was talking about earlier, but just before we touch on that, Kodak Black has done a few things. Now, first, Kodak Black has been sued $500,000 for skipping on a concert. He was a no-show twice. There's an NY promoter.
That's not what I was talking about.
I'm getting there. There's an NY promoter who feels like his legacy was tarnished. And so he's suing Kodak Black for $500,000. Now,
how much your legacy?
Now, yeah, how much is your
Promoter's
legacy?
legacy is worth $500,000?
Hey, but listen, if Kodak canceled on you twice, it depends on how much money you was gonna make out of those two shows.
True, very true, very true.
You know what I mean? Depends on how many people gonna make. Now, Kodak is already dealing with that, right? Then, as you and I were walking into the station, Kodak Black on IG Live, which seems to be his best friend, is on there just disrespecting Laura London. You want to explain to people who Laura
Talking about how
London
he's
is?
going to shoot a shot. He's going to wait a year.
Explain who Laura London is, just for the people in the back who may not know.
Is the, now widow of Nipsey Hussle.
Yes. The brother we just talked about for about 15, 20 minutes, right? She has a child by him. They've been together for years. And Kodak is on there saying some of the most wildest stuff. I know I looked up and I saw Kodak Black was trending. And I'm like, why is Kodak Black trending? It's just like, he was like number one. And people were like going ham because of what he was saying, which is one of the things he was saying on IG Live when he says, give Laura London a year before she started hollering. Like, he was shooting his shot at her and everything.
Yeah, he tried to clean it up with another IG Live.
He said, Laura London, that's my baby, though. She about to be out here single. She finna be a whole widow out here. I'll be the best man I can be for her. I give her a whole year. She might need a whole year to be crying and shit for him. I ain't trying to shoot my shot at her. I'm saying, listen, she can do 2-3 years. I'll try to be like her friend. If you need to holler at her, shoulder lean on, she can call on my line. Unquote.
Yeah. And King of the South, T.I. came and made an IG post, said, yeah, ain't nobody gonna say it, I'ma say it. You out of line. And you straighten up expeditiously. You know how he used to like to put the big words in there. Now, expeditiously. And then but Kodak actually commented on that post and said, or what?
Really?
Yeah, Kodak commented on T.I.'s post, on T.I.'s page, and said, or what? Question mark. Yeah.
Oh,
So,
you're right. I'm looking at it right here. He
Yeah.
said he addressed AT rapper on live and said what? Then he said, man, listen, I said what I said. Y'all trying to misconstrue what I said. Fuck that. I don't give a fuck about what you talking about. T.I., man, I don't care. I'm in Georgia right now. Hold on. I think I got the video. Is this it? Let's see.
T.I. said, fix that expeditiously. Man, listen, I said what I said, and then y'all trying to misconstrue what I said. Man, listen, man, I don't give a what y'all talking about. Hey, T.I., man, I don't care. I'm in Georgia right now. Y'all talking about so y'all.
Yeah. I mean, what? Bruh, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, Kodak, man,
Go ahead, bro.
he's doing too much. I think he begging for attention right now. And then he barking up the wrong tree at the wrong time. I mean, they holding visuals right now like Lauren, you need to leave Lauren alone. Like, unless you saying, I feel for you, and you sending her your condolences, like, you don't need to say Lauren London's name, period, right now. Like, you can't imagine the type of, like, hurt and where she's at mentally. Like, you want to pray for her mental health right now, period. Like, she called him her sanctuary, like her protector, her provider. She called him her sanctuary. So that just tells you how she's feeling right now. And that was just that one post she put out since the death, of which people have been waiting and stalking her Instagram and her Twitter to see when she's going to speak and if she's going to say something. And what is she going to say? So, yeah, it's just too much. And I don't know. I mean, I hope nobody pulls up on Kodak because I don't want that to happen to him right now, but it kind of looks like he just basically begging for it.
Laura
right now.
London and Nipsey had literally just did a video on YouTube on some question love stuff.
Yeah,
right?
30 questions or 21
Yeah.
questions.
I never got a chance to like look at it.
I didn't look at it either.
It looked nice though.
Once
right?
I heard about it after what happened. And I didn't want to see it.
I actually saw it on my YouTube timeline before Nipsey got hurt. It literally just premiered maybe like 2 weeks ago.
He just recently did I think that Thursday before he died, he was in Cali he did the video with Khaled.
Right. But the Laura London video came out, the video he did with that. I don't know who's around Kodak. I remember recently, and I was talking to my homegirl DJ Heat, and we was talking about how, Kodak, what J. Cole said in the song Middle Child, like Kodak reminded him to do, I really wish he needs guidance for real.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's so real that he does. Like, who's around you matters. Who's your big homies matter. Kodak has been saying crazy stuff off the wall. If he think this is like a joke where he can come out here and just say something all, crazy and wild and he trolling and it's all good, like, that's not what's up, homie. Like, you have to know that there's a line. This is a line. Like, you talking about somebody's woman when they not here. That is the ultimate disrespect of a coward. Like, that is the ultimate disrespect that you doing to a man when you get at his woman when he not here. And you saying something like that, like, yo, give it 2-3 years, da-da-da. Like, and you on IG Live. There's no reason for that. Like, you're not being interviewed. Nobody's not asking you a question. Nobody's not, you know what I mean? Like, we didn't ask for this. Nobody came to you and said, yo, what does Kodak Black think? Like, nobody came at you for this. This is unnecessary. And then you get checked by T.I., you respond like, or what? I mean, I'm with you. I don't want Kodak to be pulled up on because I think we had enough of that, right?
Yeah, it's not the time for
But
that.
don't make
right?
it to the point.
No more violence,
But-
no more. Nah, we don't need that right now.
But look, dude, we've seen this route before, this trolling route. Your man Tekashi is locked up right now over this trolling route. We've seen where this go, where you just want to say something for the sake of saying something. Like, we've seen where this is going to go. How many things got to happen to you before there's a lesson that's learned in that you just running your mouth? Like, it's unnecessary. It's probably one of the most unnecessary comments I've heard in the past, 10 years. Like, a comment that nobody asked for. Who was asking for Kodak Black's response on the death of Nipsey Hussle? Who?
Nobody.
I mean, who really wanted to know, kind of like Dave Chappelle, I want to know what Ja Rule thinks. Like, who was asking for that? You know, it's like a 9/11, you want to know what Ja Rule thinks. I don't want to hear from Ja Rule. You know what I mean? Like, who was thinking about Kodak Black with this? But that go to show you someone like that, he's part of that era where the attention got to be towards him.
Mm-hmm.
If the attention ain't towards him, by all means, it's like he has to say something to bring the attention back towards him. That's like the ultimate disrespect. But I advise you to get it right, because if you're not aware that Nipsey had people in his corner that was really riding for him, that really respected him, like if you're not seeing your peers, people you're in the hip hop community that are out here speaking for him.
And not only that, if you don't think T.I. still got goons in the street and still moving like he want to move, I mean, he old now. He ain't Tip no more, but he still.
I mean, people like T.I., Snoop, Scarface,
Jeezy, Gucci, they still.
Gucci. But those are individuals where people love them so much, they'll go do work for them, and they won't even know nothing about it. Like Snoop Dogg got people that'll do work for him. Snoop won't have no clue what's
going on.
Snoop would approach you peacefully and say, hey, man, you need to chill out. T.I. approached you peacefully and said you need to chill out. But I'm pretty sure they got people out there that's willing to do stuff for them that won't even tell them just out of loyalty, just to prove to them.
Yeah. So it's not a good look. It's just not a good look right now. Somebody need to really sit him down and like show him like, look, this is not cool. Let's just go this way. Let's stay on this.
I think he tried to holler at Master P and that didn't go well.
Who?
Kodak.
Tried to holler at Master P.
I mean, I think someone tried to set him up with P like to be a mentor and all that, but I think it didn't go well.
How did it go well?
I said I think it did not go well.
How? Like what happened?
I didn't speak on it. I saw Master P kind of allude to it, and I've heard Kodak say some stuff about P on records that wasn't that hot. Like if you Google, you know what I'm saying? Like
P's still down to pull up on you.
Well, no, P is. You know what I'm saying? P is. Let me just type this real quick.
He's still definitely down to pull up on you. He ain't tolerating it.
He's definitely made a comment. Yeah, it says right here, fallout with Master. Like if you just type in like Master P and Kodak Black, you'll see like. So Kodak, I guess, was claiming that P wanted his, guidance for money. He wanted money for his guidance. So yeah, they had a huge deal about that. You know what I'm saying? They had a huge deal about that. But like you said, he needs guidance. Like he definitely needs guidance, because you saying this out of pocket stuff, man, it ain't gonna get you nowhere. And we've seen this story before, bro. Like you're not showing us something. We literally just saw somebody who was having fun with trolling. A rainbow-colored kid in 2018. Like, we literally just saw this.
He telling on everybody.
Yeah, and you see where his situation ended up. Like, bro, just relax, man. On a brighter note, on the Nipsey Hussle situation, I thought it was, and we was about to get into sports anyway, that was a real touching thing that Russell Westbrook said when he landed the triple-double.
Yeah, 20 plus 20 plus 20. Y'all know what that is. Shout out to the Rolling 60s, where Nip's from. Yeah, and because Russ is from there. Russ is from Crenshaw. Mm-hmm. Grew up in LA his whole life. Went to UCLA, actually, and then he's NBA life. He's been in Oklahoma City, of course, but he's an LA guy. So they were real cool. They actually know each other. So him, Deshaun Jackson, there's been a lot of athletes that are actually from that district, Crenshaw district, that showed their love. So I mean, yeah, that was 20 plus 20 plus 20. And on top of the fact that is only been done by one other person named Wilt Chamberlain, is crazy. So, I mean, that's definitely a historic moment and you see before the game, they was in the stadium, they was playing a Nipsey Hussle playlist. They was playing Grinding All My Life. So he was actually in there and bumping his head before the game, getting ready. And then, yeah, he said that was for my bro, that was for Nip.
Well, it was crazy because Nip was just at a game not too long ago watching him ball. So,
yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. Russell Westbrook also sealed his third straight triple-double this third straight triple-double season.
Averaging third straight year averaging a triple-double, which has never been done.
Yeah, so that's just insane. And
somebody asked me who was the better point guard, Russell Westbrook or Kyrie Irving.
As of right now, it's been Russell Westbrook because Kyrie Irving has been going through some issues in Boston. Now, Kyrie Irving got better handles and he's a dog, but he hasn't been getting along. There's been some off chemistry with Boston.
Yeah, I said the best total all around player is definitely Russell Wilson. I keep saying Wilson. Russell Westbrook.
I ain't gonna lie, I wrote down Russell Wilson as something that we in one of our when I was putting up the podcast in the bio, I put that in. So also the Final Four tournament is as of right now is completely done. Texas Tech beat Michigan State, which I am sad about, 61-51. And Virginia beat Auburn, 63-62.
Charles Barkley was hurt.
I'm hurt right now, man, because Michigan State was considered the best team in the Final Four. We upset Duke last week. We beat them by 1, but we could not get past Texas Tech. But shout out to the Spartans, man. You did well. Got love for you.
Everybody's bracket's busted. Nobody picked Texas Tech and Virginia.
Yo, this joint has been insane. You know what I mean? It just been insane.
No Michigan State, no Villanova, no Gonzaga, no North Carolina, no Duke.
And we talking about that fresh.
None of them.
I saw your Dallas Cowboys, man. I know that's your team. Them and defensive end DeMarcus Lawrence had agreed to a $105 million deal.
Yeah, you also see my my Pro Bowl right tackle Lane Johnson say 9 career games versus the Eagles, 0 sacks. Put that $100 million on that. Wow.
There you have it. Also, yeah, I don't know. Is there anything else in sports that we missing? Well, the season about to close. LeBron ain't going to be in the playoffs, man. That's
LeBron
weird, right?
is definitely out of the playoffs.
That's weird.
All right, so but like I said, this year in LA wasn't about making it to the playoffs. I mean, he could have made it to the playoffs. AFC got bumped in the first round. Whoop-de-doo. What's that? This year was all about, all right, LeBron really came. We'll meet you there next summer. I'll be there this summer. Kyrie, I'm coming. Yeah, LeBron, I apologize. Klay Thompson, I'll be over there, LeBron, too. I like LA better than Golden State,
You know what that remind me of?
Once I get this fourth ring, over here, Golden State, I'm going to come on down to
That
LA.
remind me the last time I went to Vegas, and it was like 8 of us that was going there, and like the people who were getting there like early was like texting us like, hey, all right. And we was texting back, all right, I'll be there soon. Like, that's what that remind me of. Oh, you in LA? All right.
Once I know you there for sure, I'll meet you there in the summertime. I'll be there in the summer. Be there this summer. Klay coming. Kyrie coming. And they're going to be back in business.
The only thing that was moving on to some, new music was definitely not hot because Lil Nas X, he dropped the Old Town Road remix with Billy Ray Cyrus, which is interesting because the original song was charting on the country charts in the Billboard, and Billboard took it down because they feel like it wasn't country. But then he went and got Billy Ray Cyrus. It don't get no more country than that. Mm-hmm. So I wonder what decision they're gonna make then. But besides that song dropping, a lot of artists, especially in hip hop, did not drop. Schoolboy Q said it didn't feel right because of Nipsey Hussle. YG stated that he was actually working on a secret album and he delayed it to next month. Even Machine Gun Kelly said it just didn't feel appropriate so he said it didn't feel appropriate. So he felt like he had to delay this album.
You're that right. And with that being said, Nipsey Hussle's album was number 2.
Yeah.
So his music was new music.
Was the music, right? He got reintroduced to people, right? Yeah.
It's like he re-released it. So far, like Drake did So Far Gone, it was re-released this week.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I could definitely understand that, especially people
6 million streams.
Especially people like Schoolboy Q and YG who are actually close to
Bloods.
Him. Well, Q was a Crip.
Q was a Crip? Schoolboy Q was a Crip? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Q was a Crip and
that's right.
YG's a Blood.
YG and J-Rock.
But despite all that, they've been knowing the brother for years. They've been rocking with him for years. So that's a real friendship move to do, you know? So, shout out to them, for that. Shout out to Pharrell.
Yeah,
Pharrell had a birthday this past week. He turned 46, even though he looked like he's 26.
Yeah.
Pharrell has definitely been drinking on some vampire blood.
Yeah, Twilight. You one of them Twilight guys.
From the Immortals, yeah. We gonna all realize that Pharrell has been here before because he has not aged. So big shout out to him. It was also the anniversary of Nas' I Am. The album came out back in 1999, this past week. 1999, Nas' I Am. That was an important album because Nas
the
had
follow-up.
he had dropped It Was Written, and that came after Illmatic, and there were some purists that was upset with It Was Written. I remember at the time, I liked It Was Written. I thought
like
it was
It
dope.
Was Written too.
Yeah, I thought it was. No, I'm tripping. I Am came after Nostradamus, didn't it? Let me look at the order real quick. Like I'm really tripping about this. I really need to know this. Like when did Nas album had came out as far as because I might be killing myself with this. You had It Was Written. You had let me see, I Am dropped. But what had dropped in 90? Man, I'm looking at this one thing. It's all messed up.
You might not have dropped the album.
What you mean?
You might not have dropped the album in 98.
Well, I got the discography
Because It Was
right
Written
here.
It Was Written was 97.
Yeah, well.
So he might not have dropped in 98 because albums did last a lot longer than.
No, they did last longer. That's true.
You could live off an album
So
for
no,
a year.
I'm not tripping. I Am did come out before It Was Written. So I'm tripping. Nostradamus came out after that, which was the trash one. But yeah, I Am came out, and it was also the anniversary of Big Pun's second album. Yeah, baby. Remember, he dropped that. That album actually came out right after he died. It was the last album that Pun actually completed back in 2000.
Yeah.
I think if Pun would have lived, Pun is definitely a GOAT. But I think if he's definitely somebody whose life and career got cut short. Because the way he can rhyme, the way he can spit, and the way he sounded really clear and precise. I mean, he rapped really fast, and you can understand him better than some of these mumble rappers who rap slower.
Duh.
You know what I mean? Hands down. So shout out to him for that. Shout out to all my comic book heads. They released a trailer for the Joker movie. That looked real dope.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, they released a trailer for it. It looked real good, man. It's going to be about how he became the Joker.
Oh, like
Yeah.
the Batman Begins.
Yeah. It was also kind of, people thought that the actor
Make you
Joaquin
feel
Phoenix.
sorry for the Joker now.
No, I don't think you are. But they were talking about Joaquin Phoenix. They was actually talking about at one point people thought it was a movie that was just going to be was just going to be called Joker, and they thought that people were playing with the idea of Joker. But the official trailer came out, and DC already put their imprint on it as far as the comic book. So it's going to be. I'm interested in it. So, but the trailer, I need to see a little bit more. I want to see a little bit more for me to see it. Besides me just being a comic book head, is what I'm gonna say. You get a chance to check out Us yet? You?
No, I didn't. I didn't get a chance to go to the movie, though.
Yeah, get a chance to check it out, bro. You slipping before these spoilers keep coming out and mess you all up.
Yeah.
These think pieces and everything.
Think pieces.
Right. People had these 24 hours of philosophies they've been giving you, man. But I think we pretty much covered everything. Like I said, man, today's show, the energy was a little bit off because of the death of Nip. We pretty much said what we had to say about it. Eric Holder, I really do think you get all the love you get. I hope you get locked up.
The long way.
The long way, million times
Long
over.
way, the strong way.
Chris Darden, I hope you go back in your cave wherever you were.
You will.
My brother, you just
Gonna
gotta
lose
learn how to
again.
make. Yeah, you gotta learn how to make better choices, bro. Johnny Cocker's up in heaven laughing at you still. 'Cause you just don't know how to make good
You
choices.
big dummy. Doom,
Right.
Doom, doom.
Yeah, you need to get over that, homie. And anything else on your end, bro?
Nah, I'm keeping it going. Man, I ain't got no Walking Dead to watch this weekend, but all right.
It's not coming on this weekend?
Nah, that last week was the season finale.
I recorded on my DVR, so I ain't check it out yet.
Yeah. So
Were you satisfied with it?
It was cool. It was cool. It was
You
cool.
like the whispers? Remember, you thought that the zombies were actually. I didn't want to spoil it for you because I knew what it was in the comic book. But you thought that the zombies were actually talking, right?
Yeah, I thought the zombies were actually talking when I first seen it.
So how did you feel when you realized they wasn't?
I mean, I was like, oh, okay. But I mean, I figured it out and I was cool with it. I mean, I like it. I mean, I'm a lifer, so ain't nothing gonna turn me away from Walking Dead.
Yeah, they
I'm in
killed
it.
my man Jesus though. That broke my heart.
Yeah, I'm in it. I'm in it till it's over.
Yeah, I am too. I know a lot of people have left Walking Dead. They already announced that Michonne is gonna be leaving after this season, apparently. So I'm still gonna keep watching it for myself personally. I guess that do it for us. As usual, make sure you check out our platform on all social medias. We are on SoundCloud, Podomatic, iTunes. We are on Spotify, YouTube, and we got a couple live shows coming out soon. Make sure you check out the search engine and all of those platforms I just named. Type in Hip Hop Matrix Show, one word. Follow us on Twitter at HHMS98. Follow me on Twitter at J.Hall Radio. This guy right here at DJ Akademiks. Be blessed, full, and successful. We about to get up out of here, and we'll talk to you soon. We ghost!
It's the Hip Hop Matrix Show.